Yes, it's Pentax Pete again here. This time I've been asked to show a video on the use of filters, especially the graduate filters, on a Canon A-1. I showed my A1 Canon on my Canon manual focus series on a short video ago. But one of my subscribers said, can I show some filters? So I'm using the Canon and not a Pentax. Now the filters I've got loads and loads because I won some in competitions and I was given a lot. Normally the filters you think of are filters that just screw on the lens like that, and they're round like that. And I've got a stack of them here. This is a Canon set, all different sorts. I've got a 82A, I've got a 52mm centre spot, I've got a skylight, load of skylight, polarising filters. They're the round sort that you just screw into your lens and use them straight away. But these are 52 and it's a 55mm lens, so it doesn't quite fit. Now I have a 55mm Screwin filter lens, which is the wide angle 35mm here, and this is what I use for my effects. So I've got a Cokin set, which is this, and you can have one with a lens hood as well. You can have the lens hood attached, or you can unclip the lens hood for wide angle lenses so that you don't get vignetting. And this is what I have here. And at the back you have a ring, and this is the ring which screws into your lens. So that is a 55mm screw-in fitting, and you can take that off and you can have a 58, you can have a 49, and all different sizes, provided they'll all fit in the back here of your Cokin A series holder. Now there are bigger holders called the P series, which I don't have, and that screws on to your 55mm lens, comme ça, when I can get the thread started. Here we go. There we are. Oh, it's come off again. Sorry about this, folks. We're just having a little bit of trouble screwing this into the lens. It did work. We'll try the other one. They're both 55. They should screw on. Ah, there we are. That's screwed on nicely now. Now you can see there's a gap here, and that's where you slide your filters into little slots. If I can turn it slightly, you might be able to see the little slots. So these are some graduate filters I have. I'm doing this against a white background so you can see the filters. One half is clear and the top half is the graduate colour. And that's the bit usually you put against the sky. If you want to, you can put it against water or anything else you want to colour. But normally we're using it to colour the sky. And it's got written on it what it is, and the number. That's a Cokin A-124. And on the box you can see that is called a graduate tobacco. Well, what effects do these filters give you? I can find one here. I have a picture taken with that very filter. Here we have a picture taken with a graduate tobacco using a wide angle lens. And you can see at the top here the coloration, and down below where the clear area is, there is the unaffected area of your picture, and it gives quite a good effect. Now I have useful ones as well, which are grey and blue. If you've got a white sky, you can colour your sky, give it a blue tint like that. But it has to be white sky. There's no use putting the blue over a blue sky. Normally in England, especially now, we never see any blue sky. It's all white. You can get quite a heavy grey colour filter like this. That is the graduate grey, which under this particular lamp I'm using looks a bit magenta, but you can guarantee that's actually quite a grey colour. And that is very useful just for darkening the tones that you want to use. I'll slide that in the filter holder here. It goes in the slot like that. And then you view through the viewfinder, of course, and you slide that up and down until you can see the area of the sky that you want darkened. Now, if you have a stop down device, such as I do have here, you can push in the stop down device on your Canon A-1 and other cameras. It closes down the lens aperture to the taking aperture, and it will give you the effect of the filter easier than if you leave it at full aperture. Now, it's a 3.5 full aperture lens. Usually to see the effect of the filter you want it down at least f8 and smaller to see the division of the filter. The wider aperture you go, the less the filter effect you will get. Now, for black and white photography, these graduate filters can also be used. I've used a pink one for my black and white film. Here we have, that's the use of a pink graduate filter, and it being a slightly reddish effect because it's pink, it darkens the sky quite well, and that's a landscape with mostly sky, and a pink graduate coking filter over with a wide angle lens. Now the other type I've got are known as center spot filters. Now I was given a load and I won a lot. This was taken with a center spot magenta filter, and I've got a center spot cerise here, which is on one of my pictures. These are on slide film, but I've made prints of them to show you quickly. Not easy to show slides on the video. And then you can see the softened effect you get and the bluish effect of the sky, especially if it's out of date film, but you can see the coloration that the center spot gives you. Now that is a center spot filter, and they come in these little pouches here, and they're called the Pentax Club filters. The pastel magenta center spot. They'll open up one of these here, and you can see the effect of the center spot filter. There it is. So you put your main subject in the little hole, and you can move that around in your holder if you want to. I'll get rid of the grey one for a minute. We'll stick that one in, and then you can twist this. You don't have to have that exact. You can twist it, and you can line that up, that hole, over the area that you want of the main subject. So the area that I used was the windmill. And you see it's not quite absolutely in the centre, but that is a centre spot filter. And then the other type we have is a diffraction filter. Now this is the use of a diffraction filter. Oh, it's upside down, here we are. That's London and some Christmas lights the other year. When you have a point source of light, you can use a starburst or a diffraction filter such as that. It's not graduate, it's just a plain filter over everything. And you have to have point sources of lights for it to work though. That is a diffraction filter, and they're sort of grey colourless types. See if I can find you one like that. No, that's another one. I had one here. It's just a grey colourless sort like this. There we are. That's a diffraction filter. Then we have ordinary colour filters you can get. Again, for black and white photography. That's a yellow green for colouring, use of grass and stuff like that. That will slide in. Now what happens if you put a coloured filter over colour film, colour print film this is in this case. Here we have one, it's a 10 by 8 hand done darkroom print, and that is with a pastel orange filter, which I have here. This is the very filter I use, folks. That is pastel, means it's not absolutely clear. It gives you a sort of a diffused effect, slight softening of the definition. So I don't use them a great deal because I don't like the definition to be softened, but as they were free, I didn't have to pay. I use them occasionally. All these filters you don't use all the time because they can be overdone. If you've got black and white colour film and you're not using a digital, you can't make a white balance. Now this is Cinderella taken for a press job on a stage in a Palace Theatre at Leigh-on-Sea, Essex in England, and I was called there to do some press pictures, and that was taken on 400 ASA Fuji Superior black colour print film, and it's daylight balance, but it's tungsten light. So I slipped on a blue correction filter like that, and that corrected the tungsten light so that the colours were correct. But if you have digital cameras, which most of you have got now, you can correct it with the white balance, as I have done with my son's Canon digital video camera here. I'm now videoing under tungsten light because it's just pitch black outside, it's winter time here. We've corrected it for tungsten light balance, but with film you've got to use a blue correction filter like that, and that is very useful to have one of those. So there we are, that's the use of filters, and I showed you a few effects. One other type I've got is a soft spot, yeah, where we are, called the and this is a rose taken in my wife's garden, and it doesn't. It was on 2 1/4 square. This wasn't on the Canon A-1. It was on I think on my Pentacon 6, I think, and I use a soft spot filter called this one here. It's got a grey diffusing area, and in the middle is a clear spot. So that softens the definition down and gives you a white haze over stuff, and you can put your subject in that spot, as I tried to get the rose in that spot, and have it softened all around. But these are prints off of my transparencies that I've done specially for you. So I think I've helped you a little bit in understanding of filters, and I tried to show the use of a Canon A-1 as I was asked to do. Oh, just one more thing about the exposure. If you're going to have a darkened surroundings, you want to find that your centre spot isn't overexposed, because the filter will darken it, and you'll have to use a little bit of minus exposure compensation, otherwise the main subject would be vastly overexposed. So on a Canon, I won't cheat and show you something else. I'll show you the Canon that my subscriber wanted. Here we are. Half times. Press the little button. Turn it till half times there. That will compensate for the effect of the centre spot filter, and the main subject in the centre will not be overexposed. Well, in this short little lecture I've covered quite a lot, and go away and practice with your own cameras, folks. You're all singing, all dancing cameras, because I've only got these very old ones, but at least I do get some good effects. Thanks for watching.